Oh my goodness. I just found someone just as dumb and disgusting as expat Taffy. Unbelievable, right? When I made the videos about expat Taffy, where it comes to idiots, I thought I had seen the summit of crazy. And I never even considered to make this step to exposing flat earth supporters or flirts. This changed because of this horrible video. It is made by a person, Gary Wybenga, and reading this name I know that his ancestors came from Friesland or Groningen in the Netherlands, so the correct way to pronounce it would be Gary Weebinga. I have seen him floating around in the side chats of several debunking channels making the standard flurf remarks. Before anyone says, "You must hate flat earthers," I don't. When avoiding the shape of the earth as a subject, some can be really decent persons, like for example, Mallory. She is my friend, and has a great sense of humor. She really is funny, full of heart, and knows how to make hilarious YouTube videos.
Extra triggered, get the limey hemorrhoid pillow. It could also be used as a waifu pillow. Ooh woo.
Gary Wybenga, as I will call him because it is the correct pronunciation, is quite the opposite. And yeah, to be honest, me calling him Gary Wybenga is also to annoy him, right? Like I said, the Wybenga name tells me your ancestors must be from Friesland, perhaps Groningen in the Netherlands. What are you? The third, perhaps fourth generation in the United States? Did they move because Friesland wasn't Christian enough? Probably you are Dutch Reformed or even worse. Thinking your God justifies you, defaming the people of the shills like you did last Sunday? What did you write there in the side chat to make them ban you?
We have someone in the chat.
It almost looks like she's going in first instead of in fourth.
We have someone in the chat.
Amy, you want me to pause?
Yes, please.
And if I don't ever poop again, well, that's just going to be who I am.
And that's very apropos for this moment.
Oh, I thought.
Yes, Gary Wybenga, you don't even deserve the name Gary. You're not worthy of it. Yeah, going around calling other people perverts on other people's streams, that's just massively tacky. Come on, dude. You're worse, and it's funny because all of, I've noticed a lot of what these people do. These flat earthers are very sexist and they'll say, well, women gossip and all that shit. You're worse. And going around calling other people perverts when we're doing nothing different than anybody else, and you're just upset because we debunk your stupid crap. Well, no. And you're not welcome here anymore if you're going to keep doing that. So no. Goodbye, Wybenga. Have a nice trip.
Did you call them perverts because the shills made some silly remarks about that lady making these weird incantations and movements with her arms? Or were you just waiting for the right moment to use this accusation? Perhaps you are one of these nasty fundamentalist Christian conservatives who think they are more holy than the Pope because of God reasons? It is quite common in your insane side of the flat earth movement to use sexual insults to debunkers that poke holes in your dumb earth view, like Daniel Pratt and consorts calling people a word I just not can say. Just look at the picture. Gary Wybenga, your channel is a real treasure chest of stupid. Did you know that? Like your video of Friday 25th of February. You are right on one point only, but you are so wrong in your other assertions, it is just hilarious. Yes, Polaris will always be on that place in our lifetime, but the next 8,000 years, the pole will travel past a few stars of the Cepheus constellation, then the pole will take aim at Deneb, the tail of Cygnus, the swan, around the year 10,000. And 3,500 years after that we'll have the brightest pole star of all, Vega. Who am I kidding? You are one of these idiots that will only believe something if they see it with their own eyes. Well, good luck becoming 12,500 years of age.
Another quick video about Polaris for Sean Hawkins. and b-ball. They can't seem to understand that their model doesn't work in reality, theoretically only. So let's say that's my telescope.
This is rapidly becoming very silly. And come on, pretending that silly thing on the table is a telescope? You really should try one of these, a 10-inch, mid-light bridge, Dobson telescope like I have. It has an equatorial mount, automatic tracking and everything, but that would not work on a stationary flat Earth, right?
It's lined up with Polaris. It's on the north-south axis. I can literally leave it there, and it will always be lined up with Polaris.
Yes, if you point it on Polaris, it will always stay at Polaris. None of you put a camera on it and set it to take a picture every minute. Something peculiar happens. The stars seem to move. When you take a time exposure that keeps the shutter open for 1 hour, you see the trails of these moving stars. If the Earth is stationary, is the dome rotating? I bet you have an answer on that, right? Just imagine the humongous ball bearings that are needed to keep this son of a gun rotating. Now that is some engineering I like to see. Oops, I forgot. This is a flat Earth delusion. But, Gary Wybenga, I bet you never thought this through, right?
Now the flat Earth model says that's because we're not orbiting the sun. So that stays right there, doesn't budge, always lined up. Works perfect on a flat Earth model. Here's the problem for the globies. If I slide this just on the north-south axis just a little bit more,
Jesus, don't you ever wash your hands?
it will no longer be aimed at Polaris. If I look through the sight, it won't be aimed at it.
You are so funny, moving the camera. Look, if I move aside like this, you would not see me anymore. See, peekaboo, I am here. Same thing.
At all. It'll be completely off. I would have to readjust the angle. So now we're going to go back where we started here. Now, the telescope sets on a base, right? So if the base moves, just like I moved the telescope back, we'll pretend this is grounded on the Earth. The Earth is going to move 186 million miles to the other side of the sun.
I know where this is going, to the next level of stupid, which is also the name of the next chapter. Well, what do you know?
You suppose it should still be aimed at Polaris? Heck no. Of course they claim Polaris is so big and so far away that it will still be lined up with Polaris. It simply doesn't work.
And just how does this prove any shape of the world? It will all have the same outcome. If the Earth is shaped like a ball, which it is, like a cube, an artichoke, or even as your ugly head, if you move the camera, you will get a different view. That's all. Man, you are really, really dumb.
They don't live in reality. They have to make crap up. But when you think about it and think it through and use common sense and rationality, you realize
that Gary Weebinga is an utter idiot. By the way, what you see from the windows of my spaceship is a true orbit around our beautiful blue planet, as can be seen through a camera from the International Space Station, live on YouTube, every day. I am not outside the dome over the flat Earth that Gary believes we are living under. This is my favorite view, and I can watch it for hours.
I reject your reality and substitute my own.
Adam Savage of Mythbusters is joking, but I am not sure about Gary. What comes now is actually an earlier video about Polaris, and it shows Gary Weebinga's total ignorance about reality and substitutes it with his own delusion. There are two possibilities: 1, he has no clue of relative distances, as his diagram shows, or 2, he is deliberately lying in this utterly dumb presentation.
here's a quick little video to try to illustrate to certain globies who don't seem to understand Polaris angles. Now, this is what they usually come up with. Most of them, they have all these little parallel lines, and they say, they got the angle, and they claim it hits Polaris.
You are always talking about a flat Earth model. Since a working model clearly does not exist, I had to create one to your specifications. Here it is, and as you can see, it has everything you want in it. Cool, hey?
This little dot, now in their model, this little dot is gigantic, right?
I hope I made it big enough. The North Pole is sticking right through it.
So, it's 44 million miles in there.
Huh? Where do this 44 million miles come from? I don't see it on your pretty drawing. You naughty boy, you made this up, right? Oh, you mean the diameter of Polaris? You are very confusing. Do you do that on purpose? Yes, Polaris is quite a big boy.
So if you want to take what they say about that, you can say, oh, okay. They all point to Polaris because that's 44 million miles in diameter. This is only, 12 something?
12 something? 12 million? Or do you mean the diameter of 12,000 kilometers? That, surprisingly, would be correct. But I thought you guys are still stuck in using miles? In that case, you are way off. The diameter of Earth is 7,915 miles.
In diameter, which means each one of those would intersect with Polaris. Now here's the problem. You gotta remember, 44 million mile diameter.
The relative measurements on your picture are way off. Using the dimensions of your drawing, Polaris would need a sheet of paper twice the size of your house and garden. But I understand, you look at the tiny twinkle in the top of your imaginary dome, right? And you talk about reality? Really?
It's not gonna move. It's gonna stay here. Because because the sky isn't moving.
Hold it, right there. The sky isn't moving? Are you ignoring this one? You know you can literally see this happening, with your own eyes, outside in a chair looking up, right?
So here's the Earth. We're gonna go around the sun, 6 months later. We're over here. And here's our tilt. So now it's like, this is when the south is tilted towards the sun. Over here was when the north is tilted towards the sun. So that's their tilt, right? The tilt what we're gonna have is when it comes over here, that's 186 million miles from here to here. Not around here, but from here to here, the other side. So remember, 44 million mile diameter, that's not even gonna come close to over here.
Let me show you the only way this would work with your silly flat Earth. When your snow globe Earth travels 186 million miles around the sun, it takes everything with it, the dome, the stars, the moon, and, wait a minute, isn't the sun inside the dome? There are some differences between me and you. Beside that, I am a computer-generated anime girl, and you being a real human, at least I think. The real difference is that I see the craziness of your insane proposition. The reason that the Earth axle is still pointing on Polaris, wherever its position is around the sun, is because this star is 2.5 quadrillion miles away. Compared to your pretty drawing, if you put it on the ground, in those proportions, Polaris would be 20,000 miles or half the world away from the dot on your piece of paper. And you dare to talk about reality?
Right? So even if I put all their little, little lines to Polaris, aimed at a 44 million mile diameter Polaris, oops, it's not over here, it's over there. So that's an impossibility. The model for Polaris angles doesn't work on a globe orbiting the sun. Now we also have another problem over here, and we're going to do star trails. We have these guys and they put these perfect, they look like a Ferris wheel star trails, vertical, up and down. Now, first of all, that's not even possible.
Oh, my God. The stupid is really strong in this one. You can get this yourself, you stupid mutt. Here's how you do it. Put a decent DSLR camera on a sturdy tripod. Set your image composition. Set your lens focus. Set aperture to the lowest setting for your lens. Set ISO to 200. Set camera to bulb mode. Set image exposure, that is the shutter speed, to 30 minutes. Even a delusional dumbass says you can do this.
That's just, it looks that way on the pictures because it's a 2D image and it can't represent three-dimensional space that you're looking at.
Of course it is two-dimensional. Everything you photograph and film is two-dimensional. That does not mean in any way the result isn't legit. There are some 3D cameras that take two pictures side by side, which you can put in a special viewer, but when you aim them at the sky the 3D effect is gone. You will try everything to discredit factual evidence of a rotating Earth. I just told you how to do it, but you will deny anything that goes against your idiotic mindset. That is how willful ignorance works. Don't you agree? Of course you don't. Well, this is all for today. I start to understand why many debunkers need alcohol to get through this religious level of stupidism. Does that exist? If not, it should. It would perfectly fit Gary Weebinga's delusional mental condition. Hi, I am Ivy and this here is my own channel. Ned and I put a lot of work in our videos, and would really like to see our channel become bigger. So please, hit that like and subscribe buttons and ring that notification bell. We are not monetized, so get nothing from YouTube, but if you want to help us, please consider to help us at www.patreon.com/Dutchheretic. We want to do more, with better animations and shit. Your help will be very much appreciated.